KDB. KDB.
Beats Planet.
And we back. Voch Lombardi. About to call a lot of y'all phony today, so go ahead and be careful. I'm about to look a lot of y'all in the eye just like this and go, oh, now you want to tight end because old boy said it. Because old boy said it, now you want to tight end. Okay. I'm going to talk to y'all how I talk to y'all today, right? So I just want to get my answer off the rip. Voch ain't with it. Voch gave you a lot of reasons yesterday why I ain't with it. we was talking about Darnell Washington, and I promise we're gonna talk about Darnell 3 out of the 4 days we go live this week. I've just said his name today, so that's 2. We'll still be all we gotta do is say it one more time, and we have fulfilled the obligation, sir. We're gonna definitely talk about this now. Actually, before I get started, pardon me, Master William. I don't have sound clips loaded up this week because when you go on vacation, the key word is vacate. So like it's not like I was on vacation, but I got some sounds loaded up for it. So I had that next week. You know what I'm saying? But we got Skywalker Steele, point guard, sir. What's up, Skywalker Steele? What's good with you, man?
What's good, bro? Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you covered, man.
Okay, cool. Okay, normally you have me covered. You like do something on your side, but you ain't got shit today. Cool.
You mean you don't got these?
I am Skywalker, and I got a mic saber for a hater.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, look, this is the last one I had.
AKA Ferrari.
Oh, you got stuff there. You got your buttons.
Yeah, okay.
All the way from Bel Air, California.
Okay, okay, but it's old. It's the problem though, Will. Still, as impressive as these 2 sound drops was, Will the Thrill, aka Ferrari. No matter how much we love him as artists, if the audience hears it like 3-4 times, they go, "All right, shit, man. How many more times you gonna call Will the Thrill? How many more times you gonna call yourself aka Ferrari?" So we can love the sound drops, but they gonna get sick of it quick. So we gotta come up with some new shit. But anyway,
touche, my ninja, touche.
Anyway, on to the next topic. I'm gonna download a little kung fu punch soundtrack, and you're gonna move on to the next topic.
I used to have a tackle one. I can't find it anymore, so I gotta read that. Yeah, I had one of them.
The fuck was that for? I mean, what the F was that for? I'm trying to what the freak was that for?
It was the switch to my next news little dip. So yeah.
All right. That's the next bit we'll still. Now we're gonna be having transition buttons. We're gonna be finding new buttons.
We're gonna manufacture our own transition buttons.
Come on, take wow. All right. So listen, chat. This is what Voch did a couple days ago, and I'm gonna refrain from being told you so guy because that's not really my bag to be told you so guy. I love Footsie King. Footsie King is told you so guy. You know what I'm saying? I did a video the other day while I was on vacation. I didn't fully vacate, but I did a video the other day, soliloquy video. Y'all like those? Y'all like when we put those together? Call the show, by the way. Y'all like when we put those together? We just talk, and it was just on my mind. I wanted to be sober, Voch. I wanted to be clear-minded and objective, right? I didn't want to let my hate or dislike, because I really don't hate Conor McGregor, but I do have a dislike for the fact that he plays so much and he's not the best that we could possibly come up with, right? What I didn't want to do is let my own Cowboy fandom and bias drive the direction of my draft analysis. Will still for my Cowboys. I do understand that sometimes being Voch or being Brian Broadus for that matter, we gonna get there. But I realized that for being Voch, right? If I like Rashawn Slater, and I tell people do your own research all the time, but if I like Rashawn Slater, a lot of people gonna end up liking Rashawn Slater. You know, that's just how it goes. You know, if Jeff wants, people would have heard of Sky Moore if Jeff didn't go so hard on Sky Moore, right? So I wanted to be fair. I wanted to be even with my Cowboys draft analysis, right? So I made a video the other day, and I was like, you know, what if the Cowboys are looking for more than just guard and wide receiver, offensive line, left side player? Let's just say that, Will Steele. What if they're looking for more than left side player and wide receiver? And I presented different arguments for why they wouldn't just be looking for those, right? I talked about pass rusher. I talked about linebackers because Cowboys linebacker room is pretty thin right now, Will Steele. And then I talked about wide receiver, offensive line. I didn't talk about tight end though. That wasn't on my list. That's some brand new stuff. But I did talk about cornerback too, Will Steele. And if you pull up Bobby Bell's tweet for me, sir, I did talk about cornerback too, because in my mind, I was like, man, I dislike Conor McGovern. And I want to cut Tyron Smith and save $10 million. But is that what the team's going to do? We always got to ask ourselves that question that just separates what we want to do from what the team is probably going to do. So yeah, me and Will Steele, we high-fiving over cutting Tyron Smith and getting $10 million, but the Cowboys saying, no, sir, not me. So this is the Cowboys' way of covering their asses, like they like to say in the media. Oh, well, we can roll into a game right now with Tyron Smith at left tackle and Tyler Smith at left guard. We may not even be looking at offensive line. Will Steele. And that interested me. If you look at how this draft is laid out, 9 times out of 10, those 3 wide receivers that we like, Quentin Johnson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, and Jalen Hyatt, for those of you, those guys might be gone. Those dudes may not be around because the Cowboys won games. The Cowboys are drafting at 26 overall, right? The first 3 corners probably going to be gone. Witherspoon, Gonzalez from Oregon, and Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State. Those guys probably going to be gone. And we really don't have a good clue about what offensive linemen are going to be there. So if you look at how this draft is laid out, Will Steele, there's about 3 cornerbacks that can be there. The value for wide receiver probably won't be that high. If we're lucky, we may get a tackle. John Michael Smith, center guard type guy. Jahmyr Gibbs probably would be a guy if he's around. But I think the most value that the Cowboys can get out of the 26th pick, Will, and especially with this new news that we got, tight end number 1 might just be sitting there. Cornerback 4 might just be sitting there, right? Cornerback 4 versus wide receiver 5 in this draft. You may be leaning corner because it's a good corner class, right? Cornerback 4 versus offensive tackle 3. You may want to lean corner in that, situation if you really like the guy, like a Cam Smith type guy. So now we get this little list from Bobby Belt. This came out prior to the Brian Broadus thing. And we may not have a name in particular, but the closer we get to the end, Will, still, we just start to hear shit from our media guys, right? Will, you could just feel draft media coming together, right? Like, oh, we're gonna go defense. Oh, we're gonna go linebacker. And a week before the draft, Brian Broadus just up and say, the Cowboys looking at Leighton Vander Esch, so y'all to go ahead and be ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the Cowboys looking at D-line. Oh, the Cowboys might be looking at D-tackle. And right before the shit, Brian Broadus go, Tristan Hill probably gonna be the pick coming up. You know what I mean? I just remember every year, because I'm a fan of these guys, Will, still, you know what I mean? So I just remember Brian calling Tristan Hill and everybody for 3 days, like, what's going on? Brian calling Leighton Vander Esch when everybody was hype on Derwin James. We was like, what, huh? What, not why not Derwin? Why not Harold Landry? Voch was going around saying, right? So when you hear Cowboy media guys, especially guys that are close to the organization, whatever, we should listen to them because they start to drop hints like Salt Bay. They grab hints and do this shit to them, and they just sprinkle them all across social media. So when Bobby Belt says, I can't even read it on that. Hold on, let me go to Restream. Here we go. My sense coming out of Indy is that the Cowboys' first 3 picks will be cornerback, running back, and pass catcher. Now, Will, still, we've heard the words weapon floating around. You know what I mean? We've heard offensive weapon. We've heard pass catcher. Nobody thought that shit could mean wide receiver or tight end. Or at least I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking there's no way they're going to go tight end. If they don't get wide receiver in the first round, I'm just thinking they're going to get wide receiver in the second round. Before we get into that Brian Broadus clip, actually, not necessarily in that order, an offensive lineman could sneak in there, but I'd wager on those 3 positions being the first 2 days, which is pick 1 through 3. Well, overall, right, for those of you that's missing shows or wasn't tuned in yesterday, we was talking about tight ends and weapons and Darnell Washington shit. What's your overall thoughts on this Bobby Belt tweet? Because it kind of upsets me a little bit, right? Because even if one of my receivers that I don't like is there in the first round, in my mind, what this tweet means to me is that there's a possibility that the Cowboys don't go wide receiver in the first 3 picks at all. Like, if it ends up being tight end, running back, cornerback, that's just what the business is. We just gonna have to live with Noah Brown and Gallup and whatever the hell happens in free agency. So, Will, with that setup, what's your thoughts on this Bobby Belt tweet, sir?
I mean, I guess it makes sense given that what they're trying to do with Tyron, potentially bringing him back, which means possibly moving your boy into guard, I would imagine.
Sure.
I would not be relying on that. But this looks about. I mean, corner was always a top pick, we thought. Now, if running back is going to be a part of it, you would imagine that Zeke is not returning, and they're probably not going to extend TP. So running back in the first, I would imagine third round, fourth round, somewhere around there, but maybe second. Sure. If it's first, that'd be interesting too. And pass catcher, 100%. So cornerback and pass catcher to me doesn't surprise me. Running back might surprise me a bit, and then when they say pass catcher, tight end, that does surprise me a little bit. The fact that he says an O-line could sneak in there, if Bobby Bell's, got his ears close to the ground, it sounds like they're not really expecting to take one unless that dude falls to him at 26, right? Maybe a Broderick Jones type of guy falls to him at 26. But I mean, it doesn't tick me off because we're so early. We haven't hit free agency, right? We still got to do free agency. We still got to see who they sign back. And we got to figure out they got to figure out their draft board. So to me, it's so early and everything that nothing really upsets me, but I would be shocked if they did running back round one. I'd be shocked if they did tight end round one type of thing.
But that's interesting to me, Will, still, because if you look at the combine visits that they had, right, and those are like official combine visits, not just we snuck by your hotel, shook your hand, said, "What's up? How you doing?"
Formal meetings,
like formal meetings. Thank you, Will. Still, like we met with some offensive tackles. We like first round offensive tackles. We met with day 2 defensive ends. We met with Jahmyr Gibbs. Like that's interesting. We met with all the best wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? We met all of them. Like that's just interesting to me that we get because in my mind, the meetings is where the meat is, right? That's where all your clues are. When the Cowboys meet somebody 9 times out of 10,
30.
they draft.
30 visits is the one you're thinking of. The 30 visits. If they bring you in for a 30, I think there's there's a statistic for Cowboys at least where they've drafted a handful of those dudes every year. So that's one of the things we got to pay attention to once we get to the 30 visits.
Mm-hmm. Sure, fair enough. We got a Brian Broadus clip, and he the reason why this shit flared up like this, because Brian Broadus finna hit us 2 days before the draft and say, "Hey, they gonna be drafted Dalton Kincaid and shit." You know what I'm saying? So we just need to keep our eyes on. We'll still go ahead and run that video for the good people watching.
Gotcha, brother.
Especially if you don't even have to give up a first-round pick, Brian. This is big opportunity knocking. If you ask me, is there any hope that the Cowboys are going to be in on this for you?
I've kind of resigned myself that they're going to pick probably a tight end at 26 is what I would have to say. I just feel like because if you listen to Jerry talk about it, is adding weapons and stuff like that, and Bobby Belt, I think when we have him on today, will tell you this as well. The more you visit with people in the organization, the more they want to get him weapons. I have a feeling that there's going to be a tight end on that board better than a wide receiver, and just in the draft.
Hey man, just be on the lookout for the tight end. Boy, Brian be getting information. He ain't even supposed to be going on the radio saying none of this shit. Boy, he be like, "Hey y'all need to be looking out for tight end." So now the world is in a frenzy, but. And look, let's be responsible media people. Will still that was Brian Broadus, a member of the G-Bag Nation.
105 through the fan. Shout out to them.
105 through the fan. There you go, the flagship Cowboys Monday through Friday. So to throw even more fire on that, right? We know how like draft media guys go. The Todd McShays of the world, the Kuipers of the world, the Daniel Jeremiahs of the world. Somebody brought to my attention that they saw some mock drafts, and we're probably going to be looking over that mock draft on Thursday for mock draft Thursdays and all that. But they were saying that that 2 of those major mock draft publications or whatever had Dalton Kincaid, specifically Dalton Kincaid, at the 26th overall pick. Now they may not have heard somebody from the Cowboys say Dalton Kincaid, but they probably heard somebody from the Cowboys say tight end. You know what I mean? And if you work out value and you work out where those guys are going to be, Dalton Kincaid at 26.
Well, they formally met with him. So there's the breadcrumbs, right? There's a connection.
Sure. So all this shit just so now this brings us back to what me and Will was saying yesterday, right? If I'm gonna take a tight end, and we can play the Voch game in a little bit, chat box if y'all want to, in case y'all wasn't here yesterday. If I'm gonna draft a tight end, or if you're gonna draft in general, let's just back up. If you're gonna draft in general, the one thing that you try to do is to limit redundancies. You don't want to draft dudes like you have already. You know, when you tag Tony Pollard, that makes you believe that the running back you're gonna draft ain't gonna be like Tony Pollard. Because why would you draft two of them? I'll take two of them, but teams mostly when they draft them, they try to avoid redundancies. My whole thing about Dalton Kincaid might be tight end 1 for a lot of people. Let's just say at the most he's tight end 2 for a lot of people. I don't think many people riding for Mike Meyer like that. I think it's Kincaid, and people are banking on the ceiling of Darnell Washington. Kincaid, tight end from Utah, Darnell Washington, tight end from Georgia. When we talk about reducing redundancies or not drafting redundancies, Will Steele, when I look at Dalton Kincaid, Utah, he's not the super blocker guy. He's a getting away kind of blocker guy, not great at it, not a real good base. Like he blocks people like a wide receiver. I hate that. You know what I mean? How the wide receivers get in front and they break down and they just kind of, you know what I'm saying? He ain't really firing into nobody and blocking. Don't expect George Kittle when he's blocking somebody. Don't expect Jake Ferguson or nothing like that when he's blocking people. You know what I'm talking about? But Dalton Kincaid is basically a big ass slot receiver at tight end, right? So when I see Dalton Kincaid, he may be a guy that we don't ask to block very much. But we talk about reducing redundancies. Kincaid might be a better player than Peyton Hendershot, Will Steele. But when we talk about tight ends, Peyton Hendershot's a guy that can do that job though. He can play that role of down the field, vertical, big slot receiver type tight end guy. And that just makes me go, well, man, if Dalton Kincaid is going to be a guy that's here, what's going to happen with redundancy? We're going to have 2 of those guys. So in my mind, if you draft in tight end, you want to get something that's unlike what you got already. We ain't got a Darnell Washington. So that's where we kind of, me and you was talking about that. Yes, if we were to go tight end, especially tight end early. Mind you, chat, we can draft tight end all day, every day in the 4th round. That don't bother me. But we talking about these first 3 days, these very important 1st, 2nd, 3rd round picks that makes this conversation just a tad bit polarizing, right? I love what the Cowboys have been doing. They'll draft somebody in the 4th, and they'll get an undrafted character. They'll draft somebody in the 4th, and they'll get another undrafted character, and they'll just rotate them dudes. So when the undrafted character is gone, the 4th round pick steps up after he's developed, and then they just keep. If you want to run that cycle for tight ends, one techs, and running backs, I love that strategy. I understand that all the best tight ends in the world, are on teams with good quarterbacks, and they're on these great offenses, and having a great tight end can unlock your offense. None of them dudes 1st round picks though. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody asks, yo, Voch, how you feel about Dalton Kincaid, who may be the best tight end in this class? My rank is not out yet. That's an April video. For people that are asking, say, well, Voch, would you want to draft the best tight end on the board at 26? I'll start to play the Voch game with him. Yesterday we did Darnell Washington. Go watch that video. So chat, let's play the Voch game. To keep this from being, confusing or whatever, because a lot of y'all comments start to, just run together, and then we're going to get into the phones. I want you to say Kincaid or, you know what I'm saying? So like if I say Dalton Kincaid or Broderick Jones, I want y'all to say Jones over Kincaid. Okay. So let's start there. Dalton Kincaid or Broderick Jones, offensive tackle from Johnson. My bad. Jones and Johnson's going to bother me all this damn year. Pause. They're going to bother me this whole draft season. So anyway, Dalton Kincaid or Broderick. Is it Jones, Will Steele?
It's Jones.
Jones. Dalton Kincaid or Broderick Jones? And y'all ask yourself, which one would you rather have?
Jones.
Dalton Kincaid or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Jason.
Dalton Kincaid or John Michael Smits, left guard and center, Minnesota.
That's an interesting one, but
that's probably the closest one for me too. But I'm going John Michael Smith, and it could be because them.
Yeah, there could be some real good versatility there too if you get rid of
Biadasz later.
Biadasz, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And plus, them guards and centers going run out fast. And it always comes down to, how good is this tight end to overcome the stigma on tight ends? We talk about Bijan Robinson, right? Bijan Robinson's a running back, but he's so good he can overcome the idea of I can get a running back from anywhere. Is Dalton Kincaid good enough? Answer this question, Will Steele. Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs can overcome the idea of I can get a running back anywhere. Is Dalton? You probably ain't watched. Have you seen Dalton Kincaid on film? Was it?
Yeah, I did a whole show on the tight ends today, so I had to go watch them.
Perfect.
So you're going. The question you're going to ask me, I'm going to ask you even with even more detail, because this is really what I want to ask everybody and you. Mm-hmm. Is he special?
I just think he's the best tight end in the draft.
What does that mean? Like what? Because I don't like. Is he special? Because here's what a lot of people have been, saying that has garnered some good conversation, right? They don't view him as a tight end. This is so funny because this is what I did 2 years ago, but I thought it made more sense then. Is he a tight end or is he a weapon? I keep hearing that he's a weapon. I'm like, look, y'all. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say that Kincaid's not a good player. I mean, he's arguably Mayer, Kincaid, or best tight end, best receiving tight end, whatever. But a weapon, more of a weapon than what you already have in the Jake Ferguson. I'm not seeing that. I'm just not seeing that. If you want to give me the argument that Pitts is not just a tight end, he's a weapon. That makes way more sense. Way more sense. You want to give me the argument Michael Parsons is not just a linebacker, he's a playmaker / weapon. That makes way more sense. When you tell me a Dalton Kincaid is a weapon, I'm just not with that. I don't view him as that type of weapon. Now, he may come in the league and tear shit up, and I could be completely wrong, but from what I've seen, I don't view him as this, oh my God, he's such an explosive weapon, or this crazy mismatched weapon that he's going to take this offense or any offense over the hump. I don't view it that way. And then you talked about it yesterday at tight end. They really relied upon the targets.
Quarterback throwing to you.
I mean, is he going to be featured? Whether it's here or wherever. If you pick him in the first round, he now has to be your number 2, at worst, your number 3 option. Is he going to be that in Dallas? And if he's going to be that in Dallas, I say, why not give that opportunity to a Jake Ferguson and go get me a weapon that, like you said, is different from what I already have?
But Will Steele, you know how this gonna go. Cowboys gonna draft Kincaid. He gonna catch 7 touchdowns for 800 yards. They gonna be like, Voch didn't want Kincaid. Dog.
But Dalton Schultz did that.
Could have had that.
Yeah, but Dalton Schultz did that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
All these tight ends can do that. If Dak throw it to you, all y'all can get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And look, Ferguson's not a bad player. If Cowboys draft him, it is what it is. I would rather somebody else. Kincaid. What I said?
You said Ferguson's not a bad player.
Ferguson's incredible. Kincaid's not a bad player. If the Cowboys draft him, cool. I can live with that. But I'd rather somebody else. Chat, this might make y'all sick. Dalton Kincaid or Jahmyr Gibbs?
Gibbs.
Cussing everybody out.
And look, I'm not really running back or tight end round 1, but if I had to pick between the two, Gibbs.
No, don't pick Gibbs. Don't pick fucking Gibbs. And look, man, chat, like Kincaid or like Cam Smith. Like I think Kincaid or Drew Sanders. We'll see a Kincaid or Drew Sanders.
Linebacker?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get a linebacker to allow Micah some help for a long time. So some people don't like that because he's an off ball, but I'm just saying tight end, man, I got mines, and that's me. And I'm probably going to be stubborn about it. I really am, because I don't view anybody in this class like a Pitts. I just don't see the need to take one in the first round. Now, if they do, obviously we'll bemoan a little bit because there'll probably be somebody on the board, Voch, that we want, and then we'll get over it and we'll break it down and figure out the best way to utilize him. But as we sit right now, March 8th, I just don't get it.
And look, he'll be a good player, man. I just want to constantly just reiterate, he'll be a fantastic player here, because if you put that dude as the 4th option, I think he can do some great things for you. Mike McCarthy got this offense that loves to feature tight end. Sure, I would hate it for Ferguson, but we always talk about we can't have favoritism here. You know what I mean? So yeah, he'll be sure. We'll see, man. But one more for the chat box before we go into the calls here. Yeah. Dalton Kincaid or Mozzie Smith, D tackle from Michigan. Because see, Voch know what I'm doing. See, I know what I'm doing. I find all y'all favorite players y'all been bothering me about the last year, the past few months, and then I take this new name and I put them up against all y'all favorite players, and I just watch y'all squirm in the chat. I love that. Shit on Dalton Kincaid, chat.
Don't do that.
Watch, I'm excited about Dalton Kincaid. All right, cool. Put him against all y'all favorites. Now y'all like F Kincaid. All right, it's okay, cool. the Cowboys probably gonna draft Dalton Kincaid. I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that podcast. Look, man, and look, Brian gonna say it everywhere. He gonna say it on the Bobby Bell podcast. He gonna say it on .com. He gonna say that shit on the radio. He gonna just go ahead and get ready. You know how Broadus be. Go ahead and get ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be the night before. I think they did something similar with Tyler Smith. I don't know if it was B, but you know that name popped up about 48 hours before the draft, and we had to scramble like, okay, is this really an option? And same thing with Sam Williams. The two names, Tyler and Sam Williams, so crazy, right? No other organization that just comes out like that. Both of those names popped up about 24 to 48 hours before the draft, and we is like, as a community, as a content creators, hey, I think we gotta get ready for this Tyler Smith and this Sam Williams. We gotta get ready for this.
Dog, and look, and they fall right to him. It's almost like they just know that's gonna be the guy they roll with.
Yeah. Because Jerry probably went in the walk off and was like, well, I'm telling y'all who this is who I like. Right here, all top 15. And they probably took a picture and said, oh shit, let me go look at it. Jerry, shut up.
And Will, look, no matter what happens, Dalton Kincaid was the last first round pick we had on our board, and we just happened to get him at 26.
Right.
No, he was the last one. Boy, he just hung in there. We finally got him. Oh man, y'all know how I go. All right. Let's get into it, man. Let's Will Steele, can I interest you in using just a lot more like 12 personnel? Like, would that interest you? Like, if Dalton Kincaid's the pick, we're just gonna be flooding the field with tight ends and shit.
We used 12 personnel at the 6th most rate last year. 31%. If you want to use more, maybe 5% more, 4%, we get up to about 35, 36%. But I don't think you want to start entering 40, 45, 50% of your offenses out of 2 tight ends.
You don't want to do that, but we'll see. We'll be looking out. But appreciate y'all for tuning in.
The conference has been
appreciate y'all for playing along the Voch game. And look, the closer we get to draft, the harder Voch game gonna get, because I'm gonna start getting real nuanced and tight with these, names and projections, and it's gonna be systematic almost. And Voch game gonna be real upsetting for a lot of y'all. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get into the phones here. We ain't hear from Danny Savage in a minute. What's up, Danny Savage?
Hey, yo, what's up, Voch?
What's good, my guy?
We'll talk.
What's good?
You guys doing great. Great show as always. Quick
Appreciate
question. Go back and forth.
Yes, sir.
Smith or Brian Burris if he falls?
Smith who?
At 26.
Who is Smith? Mozzie Smith.
Michigan D tackle.
Mozzie's he's a safer prospect. You know what?
Yep, I'm taking Mozzie.
If you could promise me Brian Breesy's 2020 legs, I might go Breesy.
Listen,
but as of now, it's probably gonna be Mozzie for me.
Listen, if you go back to 2020, Brian Burris is an 18-year-old kid and the best player on Clemson. Tore up the SEC.
Yeah.
2021.
He's tired of drafting these hurt dudes, man.
2022. His younger sister had a long battle with cancer. And died.
Yep.
He still played, but then we got this kid from Ohio State, JX whatever, who's had the worst hamstring injury.
Don't be like that.
In Earth.
Don't be like that.
Earth.
I will hang up right now.
On Earth. He just quit. And we want to badmouth Burris. But I just want to throw some names
talking about.
Well, but wait, time about that, because you love to do this. You love to spew and then move on real fast.
All the time.
No, you can answer. I love the kid's talent.
Sure,
he can be the steal of the first round.
Well,
if you get him late, but I'll.
Well, two things, sir. Two things, sir. We don't discount Brian Breesy for the emotional hardships that he went through. That's a lot more sensitive way to say it on damn TV, sir. We don't fault Brian Breesy for the emotional hardships that he went through. We're gonna have to check on that, make sure it's cool. But damn, the knee wasn't good. The knee was the problem, and all the other little stuff that we ain't saying he ain't tough. He just ain't who he was in 2020. Jackson Smith and Jigba play receiver. What you mean? He ain't want to tough out a hamstring injury. He runs.
He hasn't played.
He runs. He used his hamstring.
He can't even run at the combine.
He runs.
He can't even run at the combine.
He didn't run the 40, but he ran field drills at the combine.
40.
He did not run the 40, but he ran the field drills at the combine, sir.
I think he ran like 2 drills.
You wasn't looking.
Listen, I don't even like him. I love Harrison.
If he don't like somebody, he ain't moving. You can't move him off of it.
Let me ask you something. Oh, wait, Dan Sam. If Brian Breese's hands fell off and he couldn't properly stack and shed in 2 gap, what you gonna call him?
I would tell him to go to Mexico, get some stem cells done, and have him grow hands back.
I see what we did. I see why Will Steele say what he said about you. I see why. I see why he said what he said. Okay, well, cool. What else you got?
I watched every single Ohio State game.
I slightly pulled my hamstring and I couldn't walk. You mean to tell me he tears his? You want him to go run somewhere? Boy, you crazy. All right, cool. What else you got?
It was not a tear, Boch.
Okay, it wasn't a tear.
The kid knew he was coming out and he was going to be.
Okay, well, how about this? How about this? Do you blame guys like Micah Parsons and Jamar Chase for that?
You're going to compare the.
Do you blame guys like Micah Parsons, Jamar Chase, and Jason Oweh and shit? Do you blame them?
You're going to compare the pandemic to a hamstring?
I just asked you a question, sir. I just asked you a question. They missed football for unforeseen circumstances. I asked you a question. That's how you got to talk to him, Will Steele. That's how you got to talk to him, Will Steele. That's how you got to talk to him sometime, Will Steele.
For every Micah,
that's how you got to talk to him, Will Steele.
Did that and it got them nowhere.
How
many guys went to their COVID camps and went nowhere?
Jason Oweh did fine. Jamar Chase did. Go on.
It's 2 different. It's like apples and oranges. But let's just get back. Listen, how can I say this? I appreciate your opinion, and I know where you're getting at. Let's just get back to the 26 real quick.
Because I got to talk to him. Will
Don't want a tight end?
Yeah.
No. If the number 1 rated guard is there, how do you not take him? If the number 1 rated right tackle is there, not take him. Mazi Smith from Michigan, I jump all over him. He's 330.
They ain't drafting the tackle.
Grab no one take. No, they ain't drafting no one take at 26, bro. You already know that.
Yeah.
This Dallas, dog.
Well, you know what? This could be a smoke screen. Move back 4, 5, 6 picks.
They don't do that neither. They don't do that neither. They ain't done that since what, Travis?
I think Travis.
They
technically Micah, but that was like 1. They moved back 1 pick. I think 1 or 2 picks.
That's fair. That's fair. Go ahead.
We're probably going to lose Donovan Wilson.
Sure.
And we were 22 against the run. So how is middle linebacker or DT not floating around in your head?
Because Noah Brown is my second best wide receiver.
Last question, and I'm out. Nolan Smith, he's 238.
Yes.
Would you think I'm totally crazy to say put 12 pounds, put some peanut butter in him at some point, and throw him at middle linebacker? And you and Sky are doing a great show, and I'm gonna land the plane.
You asked me that question too.
And listen to your comment. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, man. Good call.
I'm not doing that with Nolan, right?
Nah, I'm not putting Nolan Smith at middle linebacker. You know what I mean? If you want to move him at Mike like twice to blitz him from there or something, like you'll do with D-Law sometimes, like you'll stand him up, move him over, and blitz him somewhere, sure. But like play Mike for you, he don't play Mike. He don't play Mike.
Yeah,
no.
If you're gonna put him at backer, I think it got to be like Will or a 3-4 outside linebacker type, and he's even slight for that. But regardless, he's going to be an undersized pass rusher. It is what it is, you know.
Sure.
But he plays the run so dominantly for a guy his size.
Yes, sir. But if it's anybody I trust to figure that out, boy, it's Dan Quinn.
Right. That's a good point.
Dan to find something for him. Dan to make a position for that boy. But anyway, Jared, what's happening?
Hey, Voch, how's it going?
What's good, Mike? What you got for the show?
I just was wondering what do you think of on the weapons side? If we get a pass catcher, who all do you think is a purely better pass catcher than Dalton Kincaid? Because he seems to me like a really good player that we could get in the first, who might fall to us when other options may be gone that could really affect something and be significantly better than Jake Ferguson, in my opinion.
You saying Kincaid is significantly better than Jake Ferguson, or you saying that his hands in particular are significantly better than Jake Ferguson's?
That, the second one.
Okay. I would have to see a gauntlet drill with both of them next to each other, to be fair. Is, basically, like we don't have like Madden ratings in real life. You know what I mean? So like, do you catch it if I throw it to you? And I seen Ferguson in real life catch passes from Dak Prescott when he threw it to him, So it ain't like Jay Ferguson got
and
bad
Cooper
hands
Rush.
really at that. And rush for sure. So when the balls wasn't all that catchable, Ferguson was catching them. I think this only matters when you can't catch, right? Like best hands or whatever. Like, that could be, that could be a situational type thing. But if Dalton Kincaid does, let's just say he does have the best hands in the draft. And look, he probably does. I don't think that's enough to warrant me taking him at 26 overall, especially considering the talent that may be there around him.
Well, I've looked at the draft, and I think that a lot of possible options that could go at that area that we're picking, like Zay Flowers and Josh Downs and Jalen Hyatt, they're guys I would like to pick, but we both know that the Cowboys aren't the type to pick those kind of guys.
So let's do this.
And I think that.
So let's do this, Jared.
Huh?
So let's do this. Play the Voch game. Would you rather have Dalton Kincaid or John Michael Schmitz?
Oh, I'd rather have Michael Smith.
Dalton Kincaid or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Jackson Smith. I don't believe he'll be there though.
Never know. Dalton Kincaid or Cam Smith?
That one is a little tough because I'm
close.
a little lower on Cam Smith than you are.
That's cool.
I think I'd go Kincaid.
Okay, that's fine. Dalton Kincaid or what's my boy? I was just thinking about it before I said Dalton Kincaid or Broderick Jones.
Oh, Broderick Jones, if he by some miracle fell there.
So what it sounds like to me, one more. Dalton Kincaid or Drew Sanders.
I don't know. I need to look at Drew Sanders' combine stuff to really.
Combine's going to change your mind. Interesting.
Okay, cool. Dalton Kincaid or Nolan Smith.
Nolan Smith.
So what this means, just like what this sounds like to me, is that Dalton Kincaid is really a dude that's getting drafted in the 40s for you. Because if you're drafting at 26 and them dudes on the board, you taking them dudes over Dalton Kincaid, he really gets pushed back to the early second. Is kind of what that sounds like to me. So I like the player.
Well,
he's a good player.
Me,
sure, go ahead.
To be fair, I was just thinking, like, all the names you mentioned, I don't know if any of them will be there except John Michael Smith for sure.
Somebody got to be there. Listen, I understand. Yeah. Like Cowboy fans, sometimes we get pessimistic when we drafting at the back of the draft. We got all our favorite players. Dog, somebody got to be there. like outside of that top 10, and we feel like we have no chance to get. Then there's 16 picks. I can name you 18 people I like between pick number 10 to us. Somebody got to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate you, Jared. Good call, my guy.
What you're saying.
Good. Oh yeah, Jared. One more thing. Dalton Kincaid or Darnell Washington?
I'd probably go Kincaid.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. All right, appreciate it, Jared.
All right.
Chat, we can't just because look, Will, they like we honestly do this, and when I say we, I don't mean like me and you, but like them, like do this every year when we go, oh, there's no way that player is gonna make it to Dallas. Like, bro,
every year we do that, yeah.
So 4 quarterbacks, right? Let's just say Paris and Peter. That's the first 2 tackles to go. Let's just say that's 6 already. You know what I'm saying? So now we got 20 guys to go. So we already know what's his face? Pass rushers, right? Will and Tyree. That's 8 guys. Then we got Jalen Carter. That's 9 guys, right? So that's probably like the real range that's untouchable to me. And then when you just think about draft opinions in general, take a guy like Jordan Addison. Some guys have Jordan Addison as their number one receiver. Some guys got Jordan Addison as their fourth guy. Somebody's going to value Jalen Hyatt. I probably should be adding Jalen Hyatt to this conversation. Well, still Jalen Hyatt or Dalton Kincaid.
I'd probably still go Hyatt. I mean,
cool,
because whenever you're done, I got something.
Cool. Hyatt's probably going to be a guy that's pushed up the board. Then your other positions, your offensive line just going to fill that thing up. Somebody's going to be there. So I just want everybody to just get in the mindset of, hey, this person may not be there, but they may also. Go ahead, Will. What you got?
I think we also have to take into account if you're drafting a Kincaid, who's really not going to be an inline guy, right? Sure. Like he's going to have to be a guy that you extend. You put him in the slot, which probably takes away not all of your 11 personnel ability because you can still do 11, obviously, right, and just extend him out. But he has to be a focal point. So now your slot guy is probably not a focal point. You move Lamb probably out wide, which I prefer.
Sure.
The question now comes to, do you believe that a Kincaid can be more of a game breaker, game wrecker, a weapon than a wide receiver? Like a wide receiver with a special skill set. Mm-hmm. If you believe that, then you or McCarthy, they then have to tailor that offense that way. Like the offense has to be tailored around Kincaid and Lamb moving forward, right? Like let's just say the Cowboys draft him. Like it has to be Lamb and Kincaid. Sure. You can't draft him in round one and be like, hey, he's our fourth option.
Nah.
So if Kincaid can be the game breaker, the game wrecker, whatever, and you believe that, then you take him. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that I want to tailor my offense around Kincaid and Lamb. I'd much rather get a game breaker of a receiver who can take it to the crib from anywhere over there, or who can take the top off the defense or what have you, as opposed to let's be honest, a tight end who's going to just mostly work the middle of the field. I'm not saying he can't give you yak, but again, we're not talking about Pitts.
Right. We're probably talking about the same amount of yak that
if you want yak, Ferguson gonna give you that.
Right. I haven't seen Dalton Kincaid jump over nobody yet. Show me the film. Show me where he jump over somebody. And listen, chat, this ain't me hating on Dalton Kincaid. I think he's a really good player. I just think just currently how the draft plays out. I mean, hell, y'all playing, the Voch game with me, man. It's just, I just can't imagine a world where those dudes on. And then something else too, though. Will said he's an old dude. Like Kincaid's a bit older, And if you take somebody with the first round pick, man, he'll be 30 by the time he up for a second contract. It's not really a dude that's gonna be around for a long time. And .com draft show, shouts out to Kyle and 2i and Dane. They was talking to Will McClay, and Will McClay said 100% we,
take that into account.
You know what I'm saying? Think about the older character, going into the second contract and things like that. Like this team really values those 5th year first round guys. You know what I'm saying? So, that may be another thing. But if to pick Darnell, I don't know. This may be a whole nother conversation if to pick Darnell. That dude just do different stuff. That dude just there is no redundancies with Darnell Washington. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got a guy like him.
There's not, but I can't
just fight him neither.
I can't fake the funk. Right. I can't fake the funk. That the same thing applies with him. Is he a guy that I'm going to build my offense around in round one? And it's a no.
Yeah. Fair enough. Let's get into the calls, man. We got let's go Los. We ain't talked to Los in a good little bit. What's up, Los?
Good afternoon, Voch. Good afternoon, Sky. I hope you're having a great afternoon like always.
Life is good, sir. I can't complain.
Hey, I'm gonna make my point quickly because I know y'all got business meetings to make. Make money elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Love Los.
So I am not not drafting a tight end, especially when you have two tight ends that have shown you the ability
in the league. Yeah, at that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when they're both on the field, they can give you more opportunities on the run and even play action game. Correct. Mm-hmm. So I am not on the idea of getting a tight end, but I am on the idea of getting the best offensive lineman,
sure,
or just of defensive help, just to support Dak and Tony on what we already have. So let me tell you this, Voch. Mm-hmm. If you had the opportunity to draft Darnell Washington or Kincaid, but what's that guy's name? Darwin Jones, that big giant sitting right there and there, who you taking? And I'll leave it at that.
The tackle from Ohio State.
Oh, Dewan Jones. Sir, I'm getting Dewan Jones. I'm getting, if I had to pick out of them, I'm taking me some Dewan. You know I love Dewan Jones, dog. Come on, man. You know I love Dewan Jones, love.
Exactly. And if there's a tight end out there, I feel that can develop under the Cowboys
and
can be a great starter for you one day. There's a guy out there. I'll just throw one name out there. His name is Zach Knutz. I think I'm pronouncing that.
What his name is?
It's Kuntz.
Zach Knutz. I think that's
Kuntz.
I don't know how you say his last name.
Kuntz. What'd you say? Huh?
Nuts.
Hey, man, this is a family show, Los. This is a family show. Don't be calling people that. What?
Hey, my man. Kuntz. Hey. Other than that, man.
Where the hell did he get the cup and the nuts from?
7. The only thing about him
is
he's not a solid run ability or like.
He's a wiry finesse receiving guy.
Red zone threat, and I feel like if Cowboys can bring him in here,
Lil Jordan
can develop, he'll be solid. So that's my opinion.
Appreciate
you. Can get him in the third round easily.
Appreciate you, Los. Good call, man. We're gonna look at Knutz.
I took a look at him yesterday.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's 6'7" long. He said red zone option. Super finessey guy. It's weird. He was like super athletic at the combine, but when I watched him, I'm like, I don't see the combine results translating on the field when he's running. It doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I mean, these dudes train their whole life to run fast at these combines, but I also think that Cowboy fans have been chasing jump ball tight end guy for years. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I think that comes from. But Knutz he's a good player. Get this out of here. I had a question, man, from Lo said something, and it made me think of a question. Let me just for 2 seconds. I don't know. Can't remember. Let's move on. We ain't gonna wait that long. DJ, what up?
Good afternoon, guys. How y'all doing?
What's good, player?
All right,
what you got?
Man, like what I hate most about this is like I know that this response is usually reserved for like free agency and stuff like that. But like of all times for them to not be like, oh, we like our guys. When we have 2 viable options at tight end, but they talk about taking tight end in the first. I just don't like it. Which I mean, y'all kind of know where I stand after my call yesterday. But I mean, do you see like 6 to 8 wide receivers going in the first round?
No.
Nah, I don't see 6 to 8. I mean, 6 might
might
be the tail end, but that's still
DJ. I just kind of got a feeling. I can see 5.
8's crazy.
Yeah, 8 is madness. I can see 5 though. I can see the top 3. I can see Hyatt and I can see Flowers.
I'm about to say Zay might not get out of there either.
I love Zay so much.
That's my look. You ain't bring him up, which I'm shocked. If you would have did the whole Kincaid Zay, because some people are like, oh well, I don't want to take the 4th receiver over the first tight end. If the 4th receiver is Zay Flowers, I'm not thinking twice.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
That was my point. That's what I was
taking.
I'm
not thinking twice. Like,
yeah, go ahead, DJ.
You're talking about wide receiver 5.
Yeah,
and I'm like, wide receiver 5 is like Jalen Hyatt or Zay Flowers or somebody like that. I'm taking that dude over Kincaid.
Hey, it's March, man. Y'all gotta excuse me, man. Get out of here. Leave me alone. It's March. I won't say shit like that in April. My bad. I apologize. I forgot Zay Flowers exists. My bad. Cowboys don't like short people no way.
And I was like,
they don't.
I mean, I get that, but like that's my whole thing. I mean, like you talk about tackle 4. I mean, technically, if you're going off of most of the mocks and all that kind of stuff, that's like
Darnell Wright.
Who's the cat from Tennessee? His name slipping on me.
Yep. Darnell Wright. Yep, that makes sense.
Darnell Wright. Like I'm taking Darnell Wright. You know what I mean? I'm taking Drew Sanders.
Yeah.
I mean that's. I mean, again, like I said, y'all kind of know where I stand. Like I'm not taking tight end truly. I'm not seriously thinking about it until late second, early third. But like, I mean, unless he's a dude, Kyle Pitts, Vernon Davis, somebody like that, then we can have a conversation. But again, haven't watched this guy, so I'm talking, I'm talking blindly, and I can admit that. So if there's something that I missed, I will come correct myself later. Unlike a lot of people who will just disappear into obscurity,
I
I'll
got
come
you,
say I
DJ.
was wrong. But unless he's one of those dudes, there's no need to have a conversation for that.
I got you, DJ. We're gonna watch a little bit of tight ends later on Patreon. So I got you, sir. Go ahead. I got you.
Appreciate you, my plug, sir. I appreciate you thinking about me and getting me up to date on these tight ends, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate you, my guy. Good call, man.
Yes, sir.
All I'm saying,
Yeah,
is if they take him, he better be a focal point. And I ain't talking about as a third or fourth option. Like
second guy.
You got to use him and get him in advantageous situations. This is no time to be playing around dilly-dallying, because if you don't, you're wasting a first-round pick, in my opinion.
Sure.
At a position that's not a need. I mean, this should be. Am I saying you got to make all your picks as a need, right? I'm not trying to go that route. But somebody earlier said, "Oh well, CeeDee Lamb was a luxury." I think this is different. I don't think this is CeeDee Lamb. When we took
let
him.
me ask you this. Guy. And this just upsets the shit out of me that we even got to have this conversation. But just give me a miscellaneous number. How many passes you think Tony Pollard catch this year?
I'm hoping in the 60 range.
That matters too.
I'm hoping in the 60 to 75 range. Like West Coast offense, I think he needs to be featured as a pass catcher this year.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. I just thought about my one point that I was thinking about with Los when Los was on the phone. Right. Normally these first round tight ends. Normally they don't come in the league and just immediately impact like that. You know what I mean? They're not like even like the biggest of the names of tight ends, like
dudes that were better.
Right. Dudes are the better than Kincaid. And I'm aware that offense does matters to a point, but those dudes come into the league with the biggest playbook out of anybody because they got to learn O-line and wide receiver shit. You know what I'm saying? So is Kincaid even going to be available? He'll be available, sure, but he's going to be like up to speed where he's doing it.
Oh, you mean available if he gets picked?
Yeah. Like if he gets picked, is he gonna be day one up to speed, or do we run into like a Jalen Tolbert situation where he line up at?
That's very interesting. If it was Kellen, it could be a possibility where you're using Kincaid extended as like a receiver, right? And what happened last year, we saw the young receivers couldn't quite get right. But this is now McCarthy's offense, and I said this earlier. There is a bit of an unknown in this 2023 version of McCarthy. So maybe the tight end position will not be as well for him. He's not going to be in line as much. I don't imagine.
Sure.
So it's tricky, dude, because they've traditionally used their main tight end in line. I can't see this guy working in line majority of the time. I'm talking 60%. Out detached. And that's a lot for a tight end, and especially if you're trying to get some run game action going.
Sure. Fair enough, my guy. Fair enough. Last call for the day. Let's get Jack on the phone. Then we're going to read some supers. Then we're going to get the hell up out of here. What up, Jack?
God.
I get him and JR mixed up every time.
What's good with you, Jack?
What's goody, Ma?
Man, life good, man. I can't complain, dog.
Hey, with all due disrespect, bro, if it ain't corner, if it ain't line, or if it ain't receiver, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
Every place that we had problems with, that's the first thing I don't give a fuck. I don't pass rusher, okay, maybe. But where we were weak at was wide receiver, cornerback too, and our line play.
Yeah.
Even for depth purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking at people and I'm watching and I'm just like, that motherfucker gonna make it. He ain't gonna make it.
Yeah. How did you know that?
But I think
that's crazy.
Hello? Yeah, go. You good? We got you, Jack.
Okay.
This is a recording?
Okay, all right. Okay.
I'm just
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, that's all I want. In them first 3 picks, that's what we need to address.
Yeah.
We'll find a depth wide receiver or a depth tight end, rounds 3, maybe 4. You know what I'm saying? We'll find that kind of help then.
Yeah.
But what we need is to address this help.
Yeah.
We need to address the help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's all, bro. I just wanted to call y'all, chit chat with y'all. Because if it ain't y'all, it ain't nobody. You heard me?
Man, Jack, that's
If it ain't
amazing.
y'all, it ain't nobody.
That's amazing, Jack. That's listen though, Jack. So let me ask you a question. What do you think about the Cowboys drafting like a linebacker or something? That ain't one of our big three needs, but what you think? Like, what if a linebacker there that we like?
If it's a linebacker though, I could see taking a linebacker just because the unsurety of LVE, the surety of we don't know if Damone is going to be consistent.
Right.
And then the other young guy that we drafted last year too.
Brillo, Cox. Yeah.
No, not Brillo.
Oh, Harper.
Harper.
Yeah, Harper.
Yeah, Harper. We don't. He's unknown right there. Yeah. I wish the fuck they Brillo on the damn field. For some reason, he can't.
Right.
So, yeah, man.
Yeah. I feel you though, JJ. Hey, man. Yo, JJ, great call, man. We love to have you on the show, man. Salute.
Already.
Yes, sir.
It's crazy how you just know.
You already know it's gonna be a new bit, dog. You already know it's gonna be a new bit. I gotta time them. I gotta see.
The first one caught me by surprise. I said, I didn't know he was gonna do that.
It was perfect. Well, see, Jack dropped two. And look, Jack, we don't mind you cussing because we do what we want to do here. But boy, it's just fun if I catch you.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's just fun if I catch you. You know what I'm saying? But he dropped two. I'm like, man, how funny would it be if I just try to beat Jack every time? So I don't know. That might be a new bit that we do. Super. We appreciate y'all being here today, man. Let me see what we got going on. Let's see. Let's go below my shoes, man.
Perfect.
Let's see. Gonna hit refresh right there.
Perfect.
We're gonna come over here. We're gonna hit refresh right here.
Perfect.
Here we go. On the volume side, start over here. Appreciate y'all. DC for Life X says he dropped 5 in the super chat. Appreciate you. What's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? LOL. What's up, Will Steele? Voch. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. DC for Life. Hey, just appreciate you. You just want to say what's up. I respect. Appreciate you. Love it. Let's move over to the Voch side. See what y'all talking about. Jameson says, glad Law Nation cares about me. We all love y'all, man. What's going on here? I actually feel good. I got you. Get well, Jameson. Get well. We all love our members of our audiences, man. We love y'all. Salute. Look at this. All right, and on the Voch Lombardi side, Maserati Mozzie, great name. I had a PFF draft where Brian Breesy fell to 26. If something crazy like that happens,
stop the cap.
That ain't crazy. If something crazy like that happens, what top 15 guy?
It's false.
What top 15 guy would you love to fall into our head? Jalen Carter. Let me tell y'all something, man. People ask me all the time, yo, Voch, who's your dream pick at 26? Don't ask me questions like that, dog. Don't ask me questions like that. It's one dude. Jalen, look, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen, bro. But Jalen Carr's the guy. Jalen Carr's the guy. But then again, though, if I can give you a real perspective on your answer, though, just a second stage to it. Who do you consider top 15? Because this draft in particular ain't got a concrete top 15, right? This draft got a concrete top 8 or so, you know? So one day, Quentin Johnston could be a top 15 guy. Jackson Smith and Jigba could be a top 15 guy. Broderick Jones could be a top 15. And I keep saying these names for a reason because I just feel like I could be wrong. I normally hit on shit like this. I could be wrong, but I feel like guys like that could be there. You know, just shit happens. Teams prefer other guys over other guys. Guys get overdrafted. Teams suck at draft, whatever. I say that because on some boards, those dudes could be 15th. Other boys, those dudes could be 26. You know, I can see a world where like Peter Paris, pause, Peter Paris and like Darnell probably go before Broderick. You know, Broderick's a very raw player. Darnell's a very technically he's a technically refined player. So Darnell, right, Tennessee, by the way, he may be a guy that people go for because I want the more nuanced player. Broderick is an athlete. He's a traits guy. So you know he's not, his technique isn't perfect. Broderick might, you never know. Shit, DeJuan Jones might make a you never know, man. Never know. So it depends on what you consider top 15. Jackson Smith and Jigba's he's a good name because he's polarizing, right? I think for the most part, people like Broderick Jones, but a guy like Jackson Smith and Jigba, they'll go, well, where was his 2022 film? We don't like that. Oh, well, the injury, we don't like that. Oh, well, he probably don't run that fast. We don't like that. You know, he can only play slot for us. You know, we don't like that. You know what I'm saying? So that could push Jackson Smith and Jigba down the line. But if he there at 26, me and Will still going to go and corral you.
Come on.
Yeah,
I think they'll be staring at. I know it's a little bit later than I think last year. Yeah, they'll be staring at a quality guy. It's just a matter of if that's a guy that can come in right now and they utilize him in that way. We say it every year. Oh, so ain't gonna fall. There will be quality guys there for Dallas.
Yeah, especially because all the best guys in our range anyway. So, or just the guys I like in our range anyway. So. There we go. But good super chat though. Appreciate you. Let me hit the refresh. That was a good one there.
And by the way, quality is still Kincaid. I don't want people to get away from this episode and think we don't like the guy. I think this is a good player. So we're a different team that absolutely needed a tight end. Maybe it's a different conversation.
Now, Will Steele, if we sign DeAndre Hopkins, figure out offensive line or something. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like we found a way to shore up cornerback too with a dude that we really like
this morning.
You know what I'm saying? And you bully me into that.
It 100% takes the sting away a little bit.
It'll make a little more sense if we have those things.
Yeah, if you go off in free agency where you're adding and not just bargain bin dudes, Voch, like we talk about, but dudes at these quote unquote positions of need. Oh man, it's gonna be hard to really get upset at anything. Well, I use the word upset, but to feel some type of way at anything at 26 if you do that.
Sure. Plus, like, there's always this little like highlight reel in my mind. Anthony Brown, Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, Trayvon Mullen, Xavier Rose, back to back. They was kicking our ass at cornerback too. They just kept throwing it. The more dudes we threw at cornerback too, the more they kept throwing on us. We have a problem at tight end. I think that's our biggest problem. I think that's our biggest thing. Will Steele. We know we got dudes at tight end that can play right now.
That's exactly what I'm saying. If we were a different team, I think the conversation could be a little bit different. Sure. But people be like, hey, Kincaid's a motherfucker, or Kincaid's it. And for me, I think Jake Ferguson a motherfucker. So, you know how you feel about Kincaid. I feel that we got a guy that can go out there and be that guy for you. So,
sure. And
maybe that's just ace guy, just a Cowboys bias. I just feel like Jake Ferguson can be that dude. So, give him a chance.
Yo, Chat. A lot of these Cowboys, programs not giving you conversation like this. Let me just. We are not giving you some cookie cutter shit that you've heard before. Like, we're giving you depth and analysis, and we're laughing together and having fun while doing it. Chat. Listen, man, y'all keep saying, yo, Voch, we want you and Will Steele to blow up. Hit the like button. That's the best way to do it. That's the best way to do it. You want this show to blow up? Hit the like button. Somebody find it. Tell your friends. Somebody find it.
Hey, I think they found us.
How the hell y'all found it? Let's see. Here we go. There's not a single tight end in the draft where you can say this will be a flat out stud. I might disagree there.
Yeah, look, I see. This is what I didn't want to happen, right? Like, I think the dude's going to be good. Yeah,
he'll be a good player. Yeah, I
really think he's going to be a good tight end. What's flat out stud? Would describe it like you're saying Kittle and them boys. But dude, we didn't know they was going to be Kittle and Kelsey in the third round until like the second, third year.
Look, we're still like in the whole league. It ain't but 4 studs anyway. So what's your definition
there
of
you go.
stud? Like
That's
good
true.
player, like really good player.
That's true.
But it's some starters in here. There's definitely some starters in this draft. So I don't know. Let's see. Let me refresh one more time. That was a really good question though, Maserati. Go ahead, Will.
Iceberg said Dallas doesn't believe Jake Ferguson. That was a question I had.
We talking about this
behind the scenes.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, me and Will still said, well, we were just asking, like, what does Dallas really think of Jake Ferguson? And look, we would love to ask somebody.
Right.
we would love to ask, hey, why are we talking about this? Y'all don't rock with, y'all not rocking with y'all, 4th round pick undrafted free agent program. Y'all not rocking with that no more. Like what the business is. You know what I mean? I like Sean McEwen, Hendershot, and Jake Ferguson. I love the rotation of tight end help, but I don't know, man. And look, Chad, this wait till April 15th. And then April 22nd, and Brian Broadus go, hey, dog, it ain't going to be Kincaid. It's actually going to be, what's the name? You know what I mean? Like, let's just wait on that before we start.
And I don't know if they're going to give you, I know they won't give you answers because it's draft season now. It's lion season. But I would love somebody off the record to ask about Jake, because Mike loved Jake, last year. Like, that probably was his pick. And to me, he showed more, right, to like and love about him this year. But that was kind of my question this morning, and we were talking about it in the green room, as we call it, is what is the evaluation to them?
Yeah.
Because if they don't, I don't want to use the term don't like, that's a bit far-fetched. Of course they like the kid. But if they don't believe he's
impact
tight end 1, right? He's more of a tight end 2 or 3. If they believe that, then I guess this would make sense, right? I just believe the opposite. I believe he has tight end 1 potential. If not, he's ready to step in to do that right now.
That's the way I agree. But Kincaid in the 2nd round, shit, we can talk. We can talk. 3rd round, really. But yeah, we'll talk. Dime's official drop 5 in the super chat. It says Los was like a brother sure looked fly in a pair of Calvin Kanines. He was talking about Canuts was there. A brother sure looked fly in a pair of Calvin Kanines. That was a good one, Dime. Calvin Kanines. Kalines, yeah. No, Calvin K9s, pardon me. He said Calvin K9. That's even funnier. Appreciate you though, Dimes. Mr. Leota's dropped the 5 and said salute. He ain't want nothing else. He want to say what's up. KG from DC dropped 5 and says love to you and Sky, bro. Appreciate you, man. We appreciate everybody that love the show, man. We love y'all back, man. Then we got landlord from Alabama. He dropped 5 and said, "What's hiding in Voch and Sky is Kincaid." We'll see. Like when landlord asks a question, like there's a different part of his voice to come out. Is Kincaid? You know what I'm saying? He pull that shit off. Is Kincaid ceiling? He said ceiling basically Schultz. Or is he projected to be the next tour like Kelsey or something? DC4L.
I mean, if you get drafted in the 1st round, you got to be hopeful to be the Kittle Kelsey types.
Yeah.
There's no Schultz. Or I'm going to go get me a Schultz later.
Plus 2, I think there's something to what I said yesterday, and y'all shouldn't be missing shows. If we're talking about drafting tight end this high because of the end result of what Kelsey and those guys are, right? Yeah. Like if you can promise me, like, hey, this dude is Kelsey. Yes, he's a 1st round pick, but we talking about Kincaid at the back of the 1st round for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's Kelsey, he'll probably go much higher than this. You know what I'm saying? But I just think you just develop tight ends. I just don't think tight ends roll out the bed like that. I mean, it's cop hits, but. You know what I'm saying? I just don't look at Kincaid as a Kelsey type guy. But
see, this is where you're wrong, Iceberg Slim. I urge you to go watch film on Jake Ferguson. He ran some good routes this year. The ball didn't go to him all the damn time, especially when what's the dude's name? Cooper Rush was in. He's allergic to tight ends. Absolutely allergic to him. Telling you, man, Jake put everything on film that you want. And you talk about speed. I mean, when he was out there again, so we believe Kincaid runs a 4.5, whatever, right? I mean, he wasn't just out there just blazing past everybody on tape either. You know what I'm saying? That's his film. Don't say he was blazing past everybody. He got great hands. He can run routes and whatnot. And he can obviously be a mismatch. Most tight ends are. But I'm not looking at some Kyle Pitts, Vernon Davis.
Yeah, not gonna be able to do it.
But when I put on Ferguson tape, bro, I see a dude.
I see a dude.
I see a dude in the NFL tape. Is what I'm talking about. I see a dude
for sure. I see some people in the chat that
talking about his plays. I told you didn't get the ball thrown to him all the time, Iceberg.
For sure. I see some people in the chat or whatever. You know, they like the landlord impersonation. Well, he's landlord from Alabama, but I'm Voch from Mississippi. So like, I talk like that still. You know what I mean? Like I have to clean it up a little bit to come on here and do this. But me and landlord come from the same part of the country, man. So that is what that is. I live in Texas now, but Mississippi guy. Landlord from Alabama on all social media platforms. He shows a lot of love to me and Will Steele Show. We want to get some traffic over there to his social medias and his YouTube channel. Does some good work over there. Appreciate you, Landlord. Chat, we had a good one, man. Another good day. I'm probably finna go eat this salad, bro. All that old bullshit. And probably get on Patreon a little bit later, watch a couple prospects. I don't know who yet. We might watch Kincaid. We might watch Dalton Kincaid. We might watch Darnell Washington block people because that's what his film is. We might watch him block people, and we'll see if we can go find some running back film on the YouTube because the running back film, plug wise, is looking kind of bare. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go and take care of that. So love y'all to pieces, man. Appreciate y'all for being here so much, man. Follow me on all my social medias, VOCHLOMBARDI. We'll be watching Kincaid film later on patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. And my non-football platform, Twitch. We're not going live on Twitch today because I want to make sure Patreon gets some extra content also. So, but when we do go live, we're playing Sons of the Forest, we're playing Hogwarts, and we're doing some fantastic reactions, some good non-football fun over there. So that's twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. My point guard, Master William Skywalker Steele, Skywalker Steele on Twitter. Go over there and find him, and he's on A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10:15 or so. Y'all go there, check him out. Then after that, go watch Law Nation because he should be live right after Will Steele, and after Law Nation go live,
he'll be live about 3-4 times a day, bro.
Yeah, he for sure, sir, for sure. He'll be right back over here. Hey man, y'all hold down with the dose. You want some piece of whiskey, mate? Till next time, volume.
Beats Planet.